This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Hundreds of Portland city workers are threatening to go on strike after contract negotiations failed. Coming up this morning on Sunrise, which city services are in jeopardy?
Also, starting today, the city of Portland will begin its latest point-in-time count. Volunteers will hit the streets to count the number of people currently experiencing homelessness in the city. We're going to explain how often this count is supposed to happen and why it happens coming up here in just a few minutes. Plus,
there will be current members that are unhappy with this move.
That's a Netflix executive acknowledging that their new plan to clamp down on password sharing is causing quite the stir with subscribers. The biggest reason behind the move, and a chance for you to weigh in coming up at 5:15.
Honestly, I cannot believe that Netflix let it go this long,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
we all know people who do that. It's going to be an interesting conversation. But first, we want to say good Wednesday morning, everybody. How are we starting off weather-wise?
Chilly out there.
I'm
why
are
about
you
the Netflix
stuttering?
thing. I can see the boardroom. Boss, we have 10 million users, but only 5 passwords in our
Right,
company.
yeah. Freeloaders.
Yeah. All right, we have clouds over the city. Good visibility coming into Portland 43. We do have a dense fog advisory up through right now 9 a.m. This is mainly south of Portland. Yesterday we had bad fog that lasted much of the day down in Salem, down into Corvallis, out around McMinnville was quite foggy, in other parts of the wine country. So a lot of you are dealing with that, and your temperatures, if you're foggy, you're probably closer to freezing. But for Portland, becoming partly cloudy, 43 now, 47 to noon. We'll probably get back up to about 50 for a high temperature. Back to you.
Rob, thank you. More than 600 city workers in Portland plan to go on strike next week if they can't reach a deal on a new contract. Labor's Local 483 said it views this contract as a chance for the city to, quote, honor the sacrifices of workers who've shown up throughout recent years of crisis. These negotiations have lasted almost 10 months. A strike could affect wastewater treatment operations, street maintenance, and park ranger services. However, the city says it's making plans to keep services running even if workers strike. In the meantime, city workers plan to hold a rally in front of City Hall this Saturday. A judge has sentenced former Beaverton Mayor Denny Doyle to 6 months in prison for possessing child pornography. He pleaded guilty to 1 count in federal court last fall. Investigators say Doyle loaded the photos onto a USB drive while he was in office during 2014 and 2015. His sentence also includes 5 years of supervised release and $22,000 in restitution to the victims. And police in Yakima saying that a man accused of shooting and killing 3 people at a convenience store yesterday morning has killed himself. Officers spent hours searching for the suspect. Police finally tracked him down after he called his mother and confessed to the crimes. It's still not clear if these murders were targeted or random. Officers say the man shot himself as they approached him. And those are some of your Wednesday morning headlines.
beginning today, volunteers will fan out across the Portland metro area to count the number of people living on streets and in shelters. It's called the Point in Time Count. So for more on this, we want to bring in Devin Haskins this morning. Devin, again, this is not only happening in the city of Portland, it'll actually include all 3 metro counties.
Yeah, Jerome, it's the first time that all 3 counties will work in unison. We're talking, of course, about Clackamas, Multnomah, and Washington counties. The point in time count is mandated by the federal government. It keeps the counties eligible for funding for housing and homelessness services. For the next 7 days, multiple workers and volunteers will fan out across the metro region. We'll talk to those living on the street and in the shelters and ask where they were staying last night, January 24th. They also say these counts are always undercounted because there simply is no way to count every single person living on the streets. On top of just counting heads, they'll also collect demographic data like someone's age and race. The count will last until January 31st. Now, if it feels like we just had a point in time count, you're not wrong. These are actually held every 2 years on odd number years, but the point in time count for 2021 was moved to last year. The results of that count, released in May, showed that there were 5,200 people homeless in Multnomah County. That was an increase of 1,200 compared to 2019. These latest results won't be out till closer to summer. Christine?
Okay, thank you, Devin. The federal government sending millions of dollars in rental assistance to Oregon and Portland. State lawmakers announced yesterday that Oregon Housing and Community Services will get $2 million. The city of Portland will get $1.1 million. Earlier this month, Governor Tina Kotek declared homelessness a state of emergency and asked the legislature to put $130 million toward addressing the issue. Lawmakers plan to use the federal funding to build affordable housing and to help people at risk of becoming homeless.
An audit turned up problems with Oregon's new law decriminalizing small amounts of hard drugs. Voters passed Measure 110 back in 2020. It also sent more money to drug treatment programs.
Yeah, but that audit also found it's nearly impossible to know if the money is actually helping people because the groups that are getting it aren't required to provide data back to the state. A nonprofit in the Dalles called Bridges to Change received some of that money. Their goal is to connect homeless people with drug treatment services. An outreach worker with the organization says making that connection, though, even with extra money, is often a really difficult process. People first have to get a referral to go to a detox center. That process can take weeks. Then, if there's a bed available, it may not even be close by. In the Dalles, for example, the closest center is 2 hours away.
I feel like we've hit rock bottom and there's nothing left to do. If we don't get out, we're going to die.
I'm just prepared to help the next person. So as soon as I'm done with helping one person, I'm ready to go out there and help the next person, just to let them know that there is a change. There's something better out there.
So yeah, he tries to help people, but says the system is essentially still set up to fail. As for finding open detox beds, according to a 2022 state-funded study, more than half of the substance use recovery and treatment organizations in the state say their capacity does not meet the current demand.
All right, gang, what do you say? You want to do a little workout this morning? No. That's a no, Rod? No. All right, move away from the shot. It's time for Rod's weather. No, it's not that easy. We will work out, Rod, through these people. This is the scene at what's known as CrossFit Primal Energy. The primal energy, I believe, is the key to this particular CrossFit location.
That's where I'm lacking.
They're up and at 'em on this Wednesday morning. This is in inner southeast. Eric Patterson, our sunrise photographer, behind the camera this morning. He also not working out, but he's very good. He's very skilled at showing people who are exercising in the early morning hours. There's the information if you want to check out this CrossFit Primal Energy business. They're actually open 7 days a week. Sundays, it's open gym only. So I guess they're not holding classes on Sunday. That's where you can just go in and get primal however you see fit.
Get primal. Honestly,
this is interesting because they're stretching and it's kind of slow. You know how they have those big doors that come up on those CrossFit gyms? And you can see people in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're throwing around big weights and they're doing all these
They do that too.
things, but this looks more my speed.
I mean, I think this is them warming up. It's
I
early.
think they're getting there, Brenda.
Yeah.
It's 5:08. Wait till 5:11.
Yeah.
I've always had a ton of respect for people who are disciplined enough to get up early in the morning and do this to start their day. Because then you got to shower, then you got to go to work, and I'm thinking, oh boy, that's
We
a lot.
are not those people. We are not those people.
But we do get up early.
Oh boy, you know, one of the stories we're covering this morning, more severe weather yesterday down in the Houston, Texas area. They had tornadoes. That storm front now pushing through Atlanta. It's snowing up into Chicago and St. Louis and Ohio. And again, that is in part the same cold air mass that coming into Saturday overnight into Sunday will be extending back to the west and dropping into our area and giving us that big chill that we're tracking. Right now we're nice and quiet. There's probably some mist in some of the dense fog pockets around, but otherwise this is a dry day with light winds. We have the air stagnation advisory still in play through tomorrow morning. Yesterday, the map up and down the I-5 corridor was mostly all good, green dots. Now we're getting more and more moderate air quality, so not horrible, but again, if this is something you are particularly sensitive to, just note you might be dealing with that today into tomorrow. All right, visibility map, we're looking for fog. So far, great visibility coming into Portland. We have fog in Tillamook, up through about Astoria, and then Salem has actually seen improved visibility in the last hour, but foggy when you get down toward Eugene. There could be more fog pockets filling in. If you have fog, that means you're probably Low to mid 30s and pretty chilly outside. Salem is at 35, matching Eugene, but Portland 43 and Kelso is the same. The Dow's 43. It's another morning with really not much of any what I would call cold weather in the gorge. Temperatures 23 out in Baker City. All right, here's the latest on that cold, kind of Canadian air, and then it's a boom, a reinforcing shot of Arctic air as we go into next week. Here we are at noon Friday. We're still in the same batch of air, although we'll start to get some rain showers. It's Saturday night, again, that the main front with the cold air comes in. This is Saturday, 8 p.m. Now notice how the purple's kind of starting to come into us. Now that cold air mass into Sunday really spills into us. Good visibility coming into town, as I mentioned. Portland currently at 43. Here's the 7-day, 51 today, 50 tomorrow. Morning showers will be light on Friday. Much of Saturday day could be dry, with the rain showers actually holding off potentially until the evening going into the night. That will change over to snow. But it looks like the chance of precipitation quickly ends Sunday morning. So if that's the case, that would be Saturday overnight changing the snow into Sunday morning. Would that be enough snow to even produce dustings at low elevations? Maybe not. This forecast compared to yesterday has become much, much drier, but still cold. Back to you.